Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another Blood Red Skies tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to be talking about the basic rules. We're going to touch on a few of the basic rules. Now, in the previous video, we talked about what's the contents of the game and what you need to play. And now we're going to start actually getting into the meat and potatoes of the mechanics. And the first thing you need to know is the advantage system. There are the bases are created in such a way that you can easily depict who has advantage over who using the flight stands. Now this is different than some other flight games that have altitude indicators or chits or dice that tell you what their altitude is compared to other planes. In this game, it is extremely easy, and the base can go back like that where you're pointing up, so you have advantage, you have a neutral play, which is neutral, and then you have pointing down, which is disadvantage. That is basically your stat. Now, it's not I have disadvantage over another plane. It's just that you're in a disadvantaged position according to the entire battle. Now, broadly speaking, advantage does represent height, high, medium, and low. But this also represents like your energy state, for like when you're doing a zoom and boom or something. If you have a good amount of energy, advantage is vital in air combat. So basically what Andy has done is he's taking the pilot and the plane and the speed of the plane, the altitude of the plane, how fast the plane's going, what its maneuverability is, and rolled it into one state, which is called advantage. All right, now you have a plane facing, obviously. You're facing, you have a little arrow right there, and that tells you that you're facing this way. I mean, looking at the plane, you could pretty much figure that out already, but it does have a facing. And then the pilot has a skill. These discs represent a number of dice, and that number is the skill of the pilot. So this guy has a 5 skill, where if I was to flip it, you would have a 4 skill. This guy's got a 3 skill, and you can see the color difference. Like an orange plane is going to be a pilot. Those are the ones you'd be scared of. The white ones are 4s. They're pretty good. Greens are 3s, and like blues are 2s. And that's how you determine skill. Now you have an aircraft card, and I put a couple of aircraft cards out here so you could see them. And they have different stats on them. Different aircraft will have different stats. Like if I pulled the Mustang over here, you can see that it's got different numbers on it. But when you're looking at these numbers, there's 3 main stats on there. First of all, you have the name of the plane up at the top. It tells you what kind of plane it is, a single engine fighter. It has a firepower, that's kind of like lightning bolts. The firepower, or I guess that could be muzzle flashes, is a 1. And then, because they're using 7.7 millimeter 30 cals, right? Where this is using the same thing as using 30 cals. So they have 1s. Where, like, you notice the Mustang has 2s, but that's probably because he's using 50 cals. Okay, the next number is the agility, or maneuverability if you would like to call it. And the last number on here is speed. That's how many inches it moves every turn on its movement. Yeah, the fine print there represents its actual maximum speed, and the maximum speed is used as a tiebreaker in the case of a tie in favor of the higher speed. 357, 354. This one actually travels faster. Now on the back side, there is a point value system, so if you wanted to, you and your friends, build your army or something like that, your squadron, you can assign like, hey, well, let's play with this many points. And it shows you how many points the planes are right there on the bottom. It also, by the way, it also gives the year of service, like when those planes were used. Of course, it gives nationality on the top right there, of course, and then a little description of the plane. But for our purposes, all we really care about are these three main numbers. In the basic rules, we're not going to be talking about their traits, which are right here. This one has a tight turn because it's a turn fighter, and this one has great dive and great climb because it's a zoom and boomer. So, but we're not going to worry about those traits right now. We're going to go into playing the game. All right, thanks for coming out and checking out that video on the stats. I know that was a short one. I meant it to be. Come back for our next video where we go into playing the game. See you then.